Ryanair, low fares made simple.
Hey guys, and welcome, to my Twitch, or YouTube, whatever you prefer. Feel free to join me feel free to join me flying to London Stansted from snowy Krakow airport in Poland. Our flight today should not take longer than approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes. In the worst case scenario, I believe that should be somewhat shorter. If I remember right, the flight should usually take around 2 hours, perhaps? Not even that. The weather condition in Krakow is a bit unique. It's not what we are used to. The current weather condition in Krakow is surface wind of 060 19 knots, visibility 2,500 meters. Slight freezing rain, broken glass at 500 feet, temperature 7 degrees, dew point -9, or QNH 1007, and runway condition is covered. This plane have just recently landed. I'm just restarting it, so there isn't going to be no point in anti-icing at least at this point of time. So we should have a kind of smooth departure from Krakow. If you have any questions or want to talk about anything, don't hesitate to message me either on chat or anything else. We are currently in stand 9, I believe. Yes, indeed, we are. If you don't mind just, hang on while I quickly program the FMC, that will be absolutely grateful. Our flight today is going to take us via Numba. After departure of runway 07, we're going to follow the airway of Tango 738. Then Lasses, which is going to be a border of Polish aerospace connecting to Germany, if I believe so. After that, we're going to proceed direct to Larrett. And Romeo Kilo November VR. After Romeo Kilo November VR, we're going to proceed once again to Nogro. Then join the airway of M40 to reach the last point of our flight route, which is going to be Edessy. Once we reach Edessy, we of course going to be joining the star arrival into London Stansted. Let me quickly do one more thing.
Ryanair, low fares made simple.
On board today, we're gonna have 170 passengers, in total 3,016 pounds of cargo, 1,524 in the front cargo slot, and then 1,492 in the back one. Cost next for today is gonna be 6. Our cruise and flight level is gonna be 360. We're going to be departure flaps of 15, well, sorry, not 15, flaps 10. Departure configuration is going to be 5.49, which we can set immediately. .548 will do fine as well. Right, so we're speaking about weather conditions. Surface wind is 060 at 19 knots, which means departure of runway 25 is completely out of options, only departure of runway 07. And we're gonna have our first waypoint is Numba, which means we're gonna be departure via Numba to Foxtrot departure from Krakow. Let's double check everything adds up. Yep, 549 as a trim. V1 speed 138 knots. VR 138, V2 144. This means we're going to be putting 138 plus 4 as a reference speed into here. So 142 here. Meanwhile, I can just add the features to the display.
Low fares made simple.
Local QNH is 1007. I know we won't need meters, however I used to do it just to cover up some things. Not necessarily as a cover up, it just looks nice. Just looks nicer in my opinion. We are currently tuned into the Unicum as well, meanwhile, just so that I'm monitoring the traffic as there are a few arrivals coming in. However, that seems not to be a problem anymore. Right, so at Kilo 801 we are estimating to be at, well, we expect it to be at or above flight level, sorry, not flight level, 3,000 feet. At Kilo 802 we are expected to be at 6,000 flight level 60 or above, which we should reach without any problems. We are estimated to have 7.9 hour fuel at Stansted. That will of course decrease after we will insert the star. It depends if we're gonna arrive on the runway 04 in Stansted. Certainly we're gonna have less fuel. If we're gonna arrive straight in onto runway 22, that shouldn't be a problem. The fuel should be pretty small, well, pretty close, I would say. Right, so let's just finish this up. I'll quickly jump into my flight officer seat to set everything up for him. Technically speaking, we are somewhat actually done. As I said, we won't actually need any anti-icing this time, because the airplane just flew in, so it shouldn't be a huge factor. Let me double check the runway course, as I cannot remember exactly from runway 07, I remember from runway 25. Right, runway heading of runway 07 is 072. Just in case of any problems after departure, we're gonna set up. It's rather to be safe than sorry. We can set up as course as well. Let me just open the SID maps once again for a second. Chart SID ICAO runway 07.
Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
Right, so Kilo 801 is approximately 5.2 nautical miles from Krakow VR. As a factor of a double check-in, we can always put FX here. And that's Kilo Alpha Kilo. On heading 072 with radio of 5.2. Yeah, that actually sums that up, which is pretty perfect for us. After Kilo 801, we can have now 9 nautical miles to Kilo 802. As I said, flight level 360 or above should be reached by that time, but that shouldn't be a massive factor for us. We should be way above that. Let me just open one more program for myself to record it after. Due to the weather conditions, we certainly won't be able to actually start the engines before we're actually done with the pushback. One second, I'm just quickly programming another software, so I'm selecting the reg number. Right, I mean, I reckon we're all set to go. So, what we can do now is start the APU, so that we can have a power running after we disconnect the ground unit. It will take a few seconds, if not minutes, to get running. Meanwhile, what do we have? We got a Ryanair standing on stand. 1 second, aircraft parking shot, there we go. That's gonna be stand 21, I would say so. You can see those doesn't seem to be stand on the de-icing zone. Let's check on that APU. Yeah, a few more seconds and we're gonna be all ready to go. Right, APU bleed is gonna be on. We can change to APU as our power source. We're gonna disconnect the ground power units. Let me double check that's engaged. Yep. Okay, we can actually start for a call for push and start. And we're going to be pushing back with nose to the left and tail to the right.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until
As we said earlier on,
brakes set.
it's all anticipated. Now we can stop the boarding music now
We are ready for pushback.
and actually focus on the flight itself. Let's communicate with all the stations across the Unicom. Krakow traffic, RYR96AA, stand 9 or starboard pushback face to the northeast. Well, face to the east more than the northeast, but I think everyone knows the, knows the way. Right, so our marshal's moving into the right position.
Departure check completed.
Release
Bypass
parking
been
brakes.
inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Yeah, due to icing condition, we'll be able to start until they are all done. Health and safety is the highest priority. So we got one right now on the left, standing next to that domestic terminal. And we got another one standing on stand 9 or left, I would say, right? It's 9 on the left. No, sorry, it's 9 right, my bad. Of course it is. Of course, those passengers standing there waiting for the queue know they're gonna be freezing. Like, our passengers already on board, and they're all happy, ready to go to cloudy and moody London Stansted. Current weather condition at Stansted are as followed. Surface wind of 0 to 0 at 15, now gas into 25, visibility 10 kilometers or more, broken 1400, overcast 1900, temperature 0 degrees, dew point -2, QNH 1003. So weather condition, like visibility wise, is going to be kind of better than in Krakow. However, the wind wise is going to be more entertaining for the pilots and less entertaining for the actual passengers themselves. I would say we're going to be done sooner rather than later with the pushback. Now as we are heading to the east now, well, northeast technically, yeah, because we're just on the turn. We're going to be given a command of applying pushback, applying tag brakes, yep. He'll now come and undo all the little bits and bobs underneath the plane. And the way we're going to be taxiing today is going to be via, we're currently on Zulu 4, so we're going to be taxiing via Zulu 4, followed by Zulu, Bravo, into Foxtrot, I would say. We ain't going to be using Delta because of the weather conditions. We're going to use the full length of the runway. Actually, Echo is our views for a good few years now, so we shouldn't even take in as a consideration.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass being removed.
I believe we're going to be fine to starting the engines. We're going to start with number 2.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Right, so the right engine number 2. Right engine is starting to roll slowly. We're gonna wait till it reaches around 3.0. That's when I usually give it a, then this one, there we go. He's gonna jump kickstart in a second. As I said, it slowly starts to roll. We can go to here now and start number 1 as well. We're going to be dependent on power from engine number 2. Krakow doesn't seem to be so busy, especially now during the pandemic, but it's only in our favor. Passengers enjoy as well, because the duty-free and board, well, counter security etc. are not as long anymore. Right, number 1 starting. We are stationary, so we can put auto brakes into RTO. We're getting okay, and we're gonna wait a little bit more for everything to start up. Right. Electricity from engine number 2, anti-ice, we can turn these on due to the current weather conditions, although it stopped snowing, so they might not be actually necessary. Right, I believe we are all ready to taxi. Let's communicate to everyone else. Krakow traffic, RYR96AA on Zulu 4, taxiing to holding point 107 via Zulu, Bravo and Foxtrot. Right, parking brakes released. And let's rock and roll. I'm just checking the router as I haven't plugged the control a few times over the last week, so I was wondering whether the settings have restarted themselves, but no, everything works perfectly fine. Right, so we said we're going to be departure on the flaps of 10, so that's going to be 4 clicks. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's kind of interesting. It's interesting to see shadows, considering how cloudy it is, but oh well, I guess it's either proper 3D things or just the way it's supposed to be. We got a few of the private jets, that's fine. Apart from that, it seems pretty quiet, relevantly quiet. Right, we're in Zulu 6, we're going to be 10 and left on Bravo 6 now. Due to the weather condition, I would avoid using 30 knot ground speed as a safety precaution. So I'm going to be taxiing probably somewhere between 15 and 20. Overall, I would just try to avoid using brakes on such a surface. The new terminal of Krakow, and our fellow rider standing on stand 21, if I remember right. Not much happening in the air currently. We will start here more position, well, not position reports, just traffic advisories once we departure, once the AFV sound system actually gets better. I will say it once again, if you have any questions or you want to talk about anything, feel free to message me either on Twitch or YouTube at the moment, and I'll be more than happy to give you a hand. There is a chance that after we arrive in Stansted, I will just log in as Gander Control and control Gander and Shannon as a bandbox. Due to the fact of professionalism, let's call it, I will try and avoid using the other viewpoints rather than from inside the plane. So I won't be using any, spot flight and stuff such as. Perhaps we would jump out, but that's only during the cruise when it's not as entertaining anymore for the pilot and, well, not for the pilot, for the passengers and viewers. That's Kilo Alpha Kilo VR right there for you. 5.5, 5.2 nautical miles from it. There we can begin at 10 from Kilo Kilo 801 into Kilo Kilo 802. Right, snowing just began all of a sudden once again. That shouldn't be a problem. We are on 26 knots. That's fine. I'm not gonna add any speed. I'm just gonna allow the plane to lose the speed by itself. As we see, the plane is slowly losing that speed that we gained. We're gonna be using the anti-ice on wings and engines. Ground speed of 22. That's fine. 21. So we are on desired speed. We ain't gonna be stopping on the holding point because there is no traffic reported. There is no one calling over the Unicom. So I would just say we are ready as we go. Once we pass Delta, was it? Let me double check on charts. Yeah, Delta, which I believe we're passing right now. We can start preparing for departure, which means, turn the traffic light just before we arrive on the runway. I can turn the strobes on shortly, and we can turn squawk mode Charlie. Due to the fact we have no ATC coverage at the moment, the squawk is just 2000, and the squawk is on right now. So we are visible to traffic on the TCAS system now, as well as we're going to be visible to them visually if we're going to turn the strobes on. We're going to shut the APU off as we ain't going to need it for the time being, and we're probably going to turn it on as we arrive in Stansted. We are somewhat sliding along the taxiway, but that's not a huge problem for us at the moment. Once again, adding a little bit of speed. 26, we're going to be crossing the 30 ground speed, which is probably, if I'm right, is the maximum taxiing speed. Right, we just passed Echo, we're gonna be reaching Foxtrot right now, so we're gonna make a right turn. As we approach, we're gonna make a announcement over the intercom that we're departure from 07 via Numba to Foxtrot departure. 20 knots on the stern, ain't so bad. May apply a little bit of brake pressure. Begin the right turn. I said we ain't gonna be stopping, which I'm certain we won't. I'm gonna reduce the speed to minimum, so we are still rolling, which isn't a like, considering we ain't stopping. A little bit of engine power, engine thrust, to make sure we are still rolling. I'm just double checking whether it is number 2 Foxtrot. Yep. Krakow traffic, RYR96 Alpha. Sorry, RYR96 Alpha Alpha. Line up and take over on A07 via number 2 Foxtrot. Right, we have crossed the holding point of runway 07. Lighting lights coming on. Engine switches into cont. Little bit of brake pressure once again. Right, we are lighted with the runway now. We cannot see the end. Visibility 2500. 50% of the power to see how the engines are light and whether there is any problems. There are not. They all run smoothly. Full power, full thrust. Our job is now to stay on the center line, monitor the engine power, engines work, and whether all the equipment is working properly. The first officer should call V1 shortly. There we go, V1. We should be lifting out without any problems. There we go. There's a click suggesting we have positive rate of climb. Passing 50 feet, 100. There we go. Gear coming up. Visibility reducing as we're cruising for the clouds, for the clouds, not for the flaps. Right, flaps to 5. We're gonna continue our climb. Flaps 5, flaps 2. Climbing profile 4,300 feet a minute. Ain't too bad for the start. Flaps 1. Lever the wings off according to the systems. Reduce the angel of attack and climbing rate. Flaps up. We can engage the LNAV with VNAV and autopilot. We are passing 4,500 feet, which isn't so bad. We are supposed to be at 3,000 or above at Kilo 801, and at 65060 or above at Kilo 802. So we are already 2,000 feet well above what was requested from us at Kilo 801. Gear is up, flaps are. We have positive radio climb. Everything seems pretty good. Let's just monitor the process for the time being. Gear can be locked. There we go. And hopefully sooner rather than later we can actually climb above the clouds, I would say. Right, 6,000, flight level 60 right now. So we are at a flight level which we are estimated to reach at Kilo 802. Everything's in condition. 888, sorry, flight level 122.8. Yep, that's all correct. Landing lights, we can turn these off. This can go into neutral position. And yeah, it's off. And there we go, ladies and gents. We are airborne. From now onwards, we're going to be flying by Poland, Germany. Holland, I think we're gonna be bypassing Belgium to the north, and then we're gonna be joining over the channel to the British, London airspace. We are passing flight level 80. At 10,000 feet of flight level 100, we technically should turn off our landing lights, but that's already done without any major hesitations. And apart from that, everything's pretty much going smoothly at the moment. We're climbing to flight level 360, which is going to be a cruising altitude for today's flight. According to the winds, this is going to be the most efficient flight level for us during the flight. Unless there are any major concerns by the ATC, if there are going to be any during our flight today, we're just going to be maintaining this flight level for the time being. There's not much to worry about at the moment. We have climbed above the clouds. As we can see, all of the below us has pretty cute weather conditions. 2,500 meters of visibility, few clouds. There were broken clouds at 500 feet. It looks like over cloud, but oh well, everyone can be mistaken. If you guys don't mind, I'll quickly jump out of the aircraft sound and actually check for any ATC coming up our way. Just because Prepar 3D turns the sounds off, I'm gonna be putting the ambience noise over the airplane for the time being. I know it's a bit different than what you usually expect from a flight of Ryanair, especially without any sails and stuff such as, but it's rather enjoyable. Right, so the ATC in Germany is offline at the moment. There is no Bremen, no mastery control. The ATC I can see so far is Amsterdam radar, and there's going to be London control with Stansted Tower online. We currently have a surface, well, headwind of 41 knots, which is going to be somewhat affecting our final fuel destination, which is 7.5 at the moment, which is pretty good. The landing stations so far I can see online are Bratislava Tower, Vienna Tower, Warsaw Tower, and Vienna Radar as in Vienna Approach, as well as Bucharest Control. I haven't checked beforehand. Yeah, everything works pretty smoothly. You can see the altitude I am at the moment, heading as well as ground speed, which is not far off because of the headwind we are currently experiencing. According to the system, we are supposed to be our ETA, estimated time of arrival is 1638 Zulu time, which is going to be in 2 hours and 15 minutes. I do hope some ATC station will connect over Germany, so that we will actually be able to cut the time a bit shorter. As we're going to be reaching Elvep, we're going to be passing Katowice-Pyrzwice Airport, Echo Papa Kilo Tango to the right hand side. Unfortunately, due to the weather conditions, once again, we won't be able to actually see him. Cześć Janek, cześć, cześć. Weather conditions in Katowice are somewhat similar to Krakow, so we have surface wind of 060 at 13 knots, visibility 2,900 meters, light snow, dry snow, scattered clouds at 300 feet, overcast at 500 feet, so the weather conditions are actually somewhat worse in terms of clouds. I'm double checking the weather conditions in Stansted, wherever they have changed. No, the weather conditions in Stansted are pretty similar. I'm quickly gonna grab a drink. Alright, let's check what arrival we can expect in Stansted Airport. So I absolutely deny the fact that there could be any runway stops to runway 22. I would expect runway 04 any day with this significant wind all over UK. So we're gonna go into arrival procedures of Stansted Airport with Charles. 1 second. Yep, let's agree. I may be able to actually change the scene for you guys, so you will be able to see what I see as well. Let me just open the charts for you. Let me just open the charts so we can actually all evaluate over it. Alright, so I'm gonna go into the studio mode for a second. Display capture. And there we go. You're gonna be able to see what I see now on this screen. So what we're gonna have is we're gonna be using the Edesi 1 Alpha arrival from Edesi on heading 298 to Lapra. From Lapra, we're going to be joining alongside with Barmy 1 Alpha arrival into Abbott. After Abbott for an A04, we have this procedure as I don't expect ATC. If there will be, they will give us probably a shortcut, vectors, or they'll ask us to follow it regardless. Right, so there is a holding from above R4. If there's going to be holding, it's only going to be from flight level 80 upwards. If not, we're going to be straight going from above, and it all depends on Barkway VOR. So, from distance of 15 nautical miles from Barkway, we're going to be beginning our turn, as well as Brookman's Park. We should be heading straight into Brookman's Park at a distance of 18 nautical miles from it, heading 224. We can somewhat have some fun already, as I changed the weather condition, it won't change as much anymore. So, let's go back into the regular screen. There we go. Arrival into Stansted. I know it's a bit early because we are still climbing, but it doesn't take long to actually change anything. So we're going to select ILS runway 04 in Stansted. We know we're going to be using EGSS Alpha, and let me double check this before I make any major mistakes. Yeah, EGSS Alpha. We're going to be using the transition of Abbott. And there we go. And this should all add up into a nice arrival procedure into Stansted. I would have usually done it way later, but I just want to, present it to you guys how it should be done over time. This does look this actually doesn't look too well, but let me double check on charts how it's supposed to look like. Right, well, this is a 5 nautical miles from Barkway, sorry, not Barkway, Brookman's Park. We should be beginning our base turn, and on radial 072 from Barkway we should be on, yeah, we should be actually turning into to the final. I won't be actually dependent on this. I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing, and just to prove that we can actually set up everything we need. So it's going to be Barkway VOR, which is Bravo Kilo Yankee. I'm going to use the radial here of heading of 265, yep, 265, distance of 15 nautical miles. One second, phone, give me a second, there we go, yep, 265, that's fine. If we want to double check it, we can just always move back. But there we go. It's, I guess, Barkway 15, exactly. Right, what other distances do we need? Let me double check for this. Next fix we're going to be using is going to be Brookman's Park, if I remember right. Yep, that's the next station name. So we go into the new page. That's Bravo Papa Kilo. In the VR frequency 117.5. Brookman's Park, we're going to need distances of 18 nautical miles. We're going to use the opposite radial, so 224, the heading we're going to be actually using. So 18. Then the turn's going to begin. Actually, no, the turn's not going to begin on distance of 9 nautical miles. Okay, that's not a problem, that was just my mistake. That it can always be dealt with later on. 224, 9. We're going to be able to see it in a minute. We can go back to Barkway VOR, because we're going to need the distance of exactly 12 nautical miles. It's not going to be for us, it's going to be for the airways, well, arrivals joining from the north, but I'm going to use it as a reference as well. The heading of this should be as followed, okay? So that's going to be approximately 195. So we're going 190, distance of 12 from Barkway. Brookman's Park, we're going to need one more distance, which is going to be 5 nautical miles and heading 224. And by doing this, we have everything pretty much what we need. So first check would be on 15 nautical miles from the VR of Barkway. Then Delta 085 Hotel, which is fine. Next check we're going to be doing is Brookman's Park, distance of 18 nautical miles, shortly followed by 9 nautical miles, which is already here. shortly followed by 5 nautical miles. At 5 nautical miles, we're going to be beginning the turn. At this point onwards, we should have a maximum of 200 knots in turn, which is completely fine. After that, it's going to be a smooth turn from Delta 044 Echo into the CF04. Let me actually see if I can correct it quickly. Yeah, that works fine for us. And then it's all arrival into Stansted. Fuel's going to be 6.9 for arrival, which isn't so bad. And for the time being, we are reaching our cruise and flight level 360. Ground speed is going to be 363. As I said, it's all due to the headwind we are currently facing, which is 85 knots. I'm going to double check the wind maps for today and make sure it haven't changed. If it did change, we may as well, you know, either climb, not necessarily descent, but climb is always welcome. We're gonna be needing the winds at 340, as well as 390. I wanna see this. Okay, we should be going into somewhat calm air over Germany. It's not gonna be straight in headwind anymore. Let me check 340 as well. They're actually all pretty similar. We may be actually climbing to level 30, I believe. For the pure fact, it's going to be somewhat less windy at a higher altitude. Let me check the maximum crew at the moment that we can have. That's going to be level 400. Like, the higher we get, the higher we get, the better it's going to get for us, I would imagine, at least at this time. But for now, let's maintain flight level 360. It's not a problem. Everything's under control, there is nothing to worry about. There is no ATC service available for us, unfortunately. Maastricht is offline. And all the German stations are offline as well, unfortunately. I can't either see München or Langenrade online, which is somewhat disappointing, I would say. A lot of ATC coming into London Gatwick. Unfortunately, we are heading into London Stansted instead. As a future destination, we may consider it. If you guys don't mind, I will quickly go AFK for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Quickly grab a drink. Well, we're still all operative, nothing much changed. We have just passed the Dynov en route to EGSS. Siema Misiek, co tam? Jak tam wczoraj tego event lorowy? Lorowy? Trollolowy? I siedzenie do 7 rano, żeby wszystko zrozumieć. Nie wiem, ja dzisiaj przeglądałem tylko u ciebie tego zapis streama, ale jakoś też nie robiłem tego dokładnie. Wiem tylko, że było jakieś randomowe strzelanie i tak dalej. Uczę się chodzić o kulach, nie? Więc jest sztos na razie. W ogóle widziałeś się tam przeprowadziłem. Znaczy, no to jest tego, pomiędzy tą nogą co mam, nie? Od co, w piątku? Czy tam soboty? Zajebiście ciężko mi się schodzi po schodach, więc no trzeba korzystać z tego, co się ma w domu, nie? Więc to jakoś pomaga. We wtorek jednej izolacji znowu co z tą nogą. I albo pójdę do pracy we wtorek, albo nie. No, szybka piłka. Widziałeś w ogóle, że moja skrzynka tam w zamku jest wolna, bo się przeprowadziłem. Tam tego, obok Ravena Jany. Do tego budynku obok. Gdzie? Ty musisz zostać w zamku. To pomieszczenie, w którym ten budynek obok Ravena i Anny to jest miejsce, w którym ja i Laszcza chowamy wszystkie nasze głupie pomysły, nie? Nie, spoko, zawiniemy wszystko z zamku, ugrodzimy się, będziemy takim podgrodem, nie? No spoko, my my zawsze będziemy ich wieczorem grali. Ja właśnie miałem coś sprawdzić. Uno segundo, por favor. Yeah. It's not NGXU, it's the normal NGX version. Prepper 3D version 4. I never have upgraded. Like, I tried upgrading it a few times, but it's similar story with when I was flying on FS 2004, and I just couldn't force myself into moving into FSX. It's kind of similar story how I cannot force myself to move into Prepper version 5. I tried Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 as well, but it's not. I don't know. It just doesn't work with me too well yet, especially considering there is no 737 available for it just yet. Like I know there's Airbus. They are planning to get Concorde. As in, what do you mean? What do you mean by it looks pretty dizzy? Yeah, well, to a certain extent. Like, I know there is a way of improving the quality of the textures and such, but I never got into that. Like, I think I did it before I reinstalled the entire sim, but I haven't done it anytime recently, so hence it looks so foggy. Like, I know we can all have it in like 4K HD, but yeah, I just haven't been playing with it. Like, this is my first flight as well in like good few months, so I'm not expecting you know, the best quality of sim at the moment. Like, at the end, when I was just working with FS 2004, I had it configured to like top-notch graphic that you can get on that sim. With Prepper, I used to work with like graphic and how to improve it, but you know, after taking a break, it's not something I want to jump straight into, because it just gets frustrating if something doesn't work or if something stops working. Like, I really would love to move into FS 2020, but it's probably not going to be over the next few months. Perhaps at the end of the year I will be flying on it, but it's still somewhat in development, so I'm just waiting once it gets to like a stable stage. Like, graphic and what it can offer is absolutely insane, but with the add-ons at the moment, it's nothing that I want to use just yet. Like, I can fly the 787, but that would be one of the few planes I can fly on it. I mean, you know, I'm talking in jet-wise, like all the general aviation, no problem, I can fly them, but Airbus and me never got along, so I would avoid it for now. I tried to do the challenges as well, and the only one I struggled with was the Airbus one. I am considering jumping onto Gander later on, because the traffic looks pretty steady. But I'm not sure yet. I need to think about it. There's like 75% chance that I will do it, and then 25% I won't. But oh well. We will see. It all depends on ATC and how quickly I can roll into Stansted. Like, there are a few games I'm playing, but I'm not sure which one to like to stream. Like, DayZ, I'm not too eager, especially because it's role-play. I'm not too eager to actually stream it. But like anything else, I'm quite open to it. Like Halo Loose, I can stream any day, but I haven't been playing it lately. League, I'm taking a break from it. Like esport-wise, I have stepped down from my current duties. So I would hate to play the game. So if anyone have any suggestions about any type of games that you could recommend, I'd be more than welcome, more than happy. do we hear any sort of, you know, propositions? Whereabouts are we at the moment? Let me double check. We have just entered German airspace, okay. There's a few, actually, well, there's a few CTRs in Brussels. There was an examination going on, I think. There's only one Amsterdam radar, which is fine. Colon approach is online as well. Like, there was nothing sketchy, I would say. There's like, well, not sketchy, there was nothing intriguing. I want to see one thing. Global tuners, is this still a thing? I want to see how they handle during the pandemic. Because they used to have a lot of ATC and aviation related content there. I have them request a new passport, sorry, not passport, password. Let me go into my email and see if I have any. Global tuners. Name. Oh, actually I do. Let's try this. There we go, we are logged in, available and online. Right, what do we have? Do we have any Karachi air traffic control? There was a nighttime there, right? Yeah. So I doubt they're gonna be actually talking much. Bedford, 30 miles from North London. Is that ATC station? There used to be London Control here, or Heathrow at least. But I cannot see it here anymore. There used to be Barcelona as well, but they all seem to just disappear during the pandemic period, I guess. What do we have here? Let me double check. Karachi is the only air traffic facility here, as far as I see. Barcelona is here. Stockholm. Glasgow and Scottish Control. Let's try this. .118.80. Fucking hell. And this is why you don't allow anyone else to touch the radio when you listen to it. There was like 2 more people who actually listened to this, and he was playing around with scratch out. Let's try London. I would love to believe that's Heathrow, but we will see. Okay, that's actually a normal radio. Kind of disappointing. Barcelona. Okay, that's actually Barcelona Control. I'm gonna mute the, reduce the volume for the time being. Very well, let's look for any other station. It's kind of disappointing there was there isn't. Oh, actually there is on the map. Let's see if we have anything local. There's a lot of stations, but they are all the actual radios. There used to, on global tuners back in the day, there used to be a hell of a lot of aviation content, like Heathrow, London Control as well. I'm gonna try the London, Glasgow and Scottish another go. No, doesn't really looks like it. Tower approach 119. That's all. Right, Scottish Control, Galloway South, Dean Cross South. Let's try with Galloway South. Was that Barcelona or? was one of them. I think it was Barcelona, not gonna lie. Right, enter frequency. So 124.825. Let's see if we can hear anything on Galway control. Nope, doesn't seem like it. Can we at least hear the matter, the 80s?
Papa, and advise aircraft type on first contact. Glasgow, information. Papa, time 1450, automatic, runway news 05, transition level, flight level 70.
Link Charlie is closed. Glasgow radar and tower is being provided as a combined service with coupled frequencies. Inbound and overflying aircraft should contact Glasgow radar on 119.1. Outbound aircraft should contact Glasgow tower on 118.805.
Surface wind 09014 knots. Visibility 10.
Okay, tune into Glasgow radar 1119.1. It's kind of interesting how one software shows me 1 hour and 20 minutes, and the other one shows 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Ship self-support ready for departure.
Let's try and tune in to Prestwick, Scottish Control. Seems pretty quiet. Oh well. The flights of VATSIM are pretty not tiring, not draining, they're just repetitive when there's no ATC. Like if there's ATC online, then at least there's something to do or someone to listen to. When they are offline, it's like it could have been better. We got a 6.7 when on arrival, it's gonna be fine as well. We actually have traffic on the TCAS at 1,000 feet above us. Would I be able to see it? Which one is it? Let me double check. It's Wizard 63. I said we ain't gonna be doing it, apart from the cruising altitude. So Swizzer is actually, well, Swizzer with Sharklets is actually flying to Vienna, if I remember right. Let me double check. Yeah, he's flying from Frankfurt to Vienna. Hamburg to Vienna, I think, yeah. We won't be able to see ourselves because he's pretty significantly far away, 40 nautical miles to our left hand side, yeah.